The skies opened up in qualifying and rain hit Road America, but Melanie Clavino claimed the Delano Pole Award with just 5 minutes left in the session. Leonid Roderick in the number 4 Volpe starts on the outside of the front row, the 4-time series champion. Davina Henta and Alexis Rainsford in row 2. Chris Johans, good qualifying effort, and Adrian Devereaux, both them tangled here 2 years ago. Excellent effort from Cameron Taylor to put his car 8th, and as you can see, the rain made this grid a little bit more random than usual. Rachel Rains from the 3rd Volpe is actually fastest in the dry practice. Kazuyama and Matthews, excellent efforts there. PSI cars in row 9. We got Benoit Vukler. This track's always been very kind to Tutino. Arto Kekkonen, good efforts by Moore and Olenek. Chris Davenport was looking for a little bit more. Scott Bates and Kevin Dwyer definitely were looking for more than that. Kurt Reynolds, this is his first ever start, and this is Matt Taylor's first start of the year in the James Dalton car. Atkins was the last car to set a time in qualifying. Everyone behind Atkins is ordered by practice speeds. Griffith, Jacob Card not where he needs to be at all. Had an awful weekend so far. Jim Hayes, his first run in car 37. He is going to be attempting Indianapolis. Dalton Johnson was outside 110% in the dry and in qualifying as well. Rolling start, as you see here, Melanie Clavino and Roderick on a drag race into the first corner. Gasper de Souza trying to gain some positions in the back, and Clavino a bit wide in the first corner, as looks like everyone's through okay. And that might have been a mistake for Clavino to choose the left side of the track, because Roderick's through and Rainsford is coming through in that yellow 27 car. Now, Alexis Rainsford, the Champ Car driver, in her tenure in the Champ Car series, she sort of made Milwaukee, which isn't too far from here, her own personal domain. But her Gessler here today, there's some R&D parts in this car, and Gessler thought it would be safer to put them in her car than in either Kekkonen or Dwyer's cars, because there are some reliability questions, and that might have been a smart move. But we have drama back here, as you may have seen in the background, as, Scott Bates committed to the inside, left the braking a bit too late, and then Carroll turned in. Don't think Bates expected that. First lap red missed, I think. I would imagine that might draw a penalty, but given how the stewards and race director Ryan Reinhardt have been on penalties for contact, I wouldn't be surprised if none was issued. Here is Cameron Taylor in the 26 car. I don't think too many people expect him to finish where he started, but I think as far as he's concerned, his weekend has already been made. That excellent qualifying effort has put... Oh, we got a big crash in the background. Oh, and that looked like that was his teammate. That was Olenek. Car number 23 in what's been an awful string of races for Olenek. Oh, he's sideways there. He might have gotten a tap from the 88 car into the... Oh, there's Davenport, nowhere to go, and Matt Taylor in it as well. As Joe Olenek has had an awful string of races, Davenport's furious. He just climbed out of that car, and we'll see what happens here in the kink. One of the fastest part of the track. Oh, yeah, he just... Lennox ran right into the back of Kevin Dwyer and sort of did that to himself, but that car was dancing around on him. I wonder if he trimmed the car out a bit too much and paid the price for it. Here is the 92 car of Azuma Kazuyama, who did an excellent job qualifying the Maximus car. There was a lot of speculation he wouldn't be driving that car this week, but he's here so far doing a good job. And here's Kurt Reynolds, the TM Lights hot shoe. Reynolds easily one of the fastest drivers that's come in the TM Light series in some time, and I think his mission today is to just complete all the laps. And of course, he's replacing Brandon LaRoe, who left the team and took his sponsors with him. And Reynolds continuing onwards, as we'll have some news on LaRoe possibly later. Here is Anthony Griffith in car number 07, the Tenere factory driver, racing with Evgeny Kuznetsov. As Griffith throws it into the scenery, defending against Kuznetsov. I don't think there was any contact there. Here's Jim Hayes in the 37, who earlier in the week was actually announced as driving the car that Reynolds is driving, but it was then announced that Hayes would attempt Indianapolis instead of Tom Delgado, and that Hayes is only running this race to get acclimatized with the team. Clavino now is losing more spots as, oh, Clavino's off. Now I think Clavino is just a little bit flustered there because she's made way too many errors in succession there. And here's a bit of a pleasant surprise. Both the Lynx cars are running very competitively with Yuliana Sova sitting 4th right now, Henson 5th, and Gaspar de Souza in one of the Black Diamond cars in 6th. Lynx Racing's had an awful season so far. They just have not had the pace at all. But this is a track that I was a little bit surprised to be doing this well on because of all these long straightaways, and they've been having a lot of problems getting the power down in that car. And here is Matt Taylor driving the 2-year-old unloved Dalton Blackbird with James Dalton's usual number 00 on it. And Taylor, well, he says he has a better engine than he did before. They do have I think they have the new Lennard motor in that car, but of course that first lap incident and the pace of that car all week is still leaving lots to be desired. Matt Taylor, of course, won the Drivers' Championship in the series in 04. Now here is Rachel Rainsford in car number 31, making some headway, and Ian Cooper in the 777 car has already been in the pit lane. That is a big strategic blunder, I do believe. Here's Ryan Matthews running in 14th. I would say I'm surprised, but this car was a rocket ship at Cariala, and out of every other track in the circuit, this is probably the circuit most like Cariala. And here, oh, Rachel's throwing it in Canada corner, trying to make it stick on Chris Johans. Man, Rachel's looking racy today in that 31 car, the Aperture, one of the 3 Aperture Science Volpes in the race. She's sticking it to Johans. Chris Johans going to have to give it up here, but she is being very aggressive today. Rachel Rainsford, not known as much of a road racer. She's turning that around in a hurry. She's been in the series for nearly a decade, hasn't won a race, hasn't really come close on any track that's other than a super speedway, really. As now we got Henson about to lose 5th to Gaspar de Souza in the car number 60. De Souza has been having a real strong year so far. He has a couple of wins to his name. Oh, and De Souza not giving Henson too much room there on the exit of Station 5, as we got a battle for the lead here between 2 multiple series champions. Rainsford throwing it on the inside of Roderick, Alexis that is, and oh, she's not giving him a huge amount of room either. Roderick gets a better exit there. No, Rainsford throws it in there, not giving Roderick, making Roderick use the rumble strips there, and then she's fading in behind. Oh, Roderick sideways. Rainsford, I wonder if she's just trying to use up Roderick's tires here by making Roderick mirror drive, and there's not that many people that I think that can get Roderick as unsettled, I think. Now Rainsford's thinking, oh, this could be a bold move if she makes this work. Roderick's not giving her any room. I don't think he sees her coming here. Oh, Rainsford throws it in. Throws that car in, and I think she's going to make it work. No, they're side by side down the main straightaway. And these are Alexis Rainsford slowly moving over on him here. I wonder if that's getting Roderick's attention. It looks like it might be. Roderick might have to give it up here, though. No, he's going to have to, I think. No, he's not. No, he is not. He is throwing it wide. I think Alexis might have expected him to. But either way, she's going to have the line coming down here and for the run up to turn 5. And yes, she clears him. Finally, a move that started, well, a third of a lap ago, finally pays off as Alexis Rainsford moves into the lead of the race. The first time I think she's led a race in quite some time. I do believe that might be Cariala, maybe Cariala, the last time she won a race. Kevin Dwyer, her team car, one of her 2 teammates, has been in the pit lane. Dwyer has had a puncture on that car number 8. And that is not what he needs, as Griffith is rejoining the race after spending quite a bit of time in the kitty litter over in turn 5. Now, there is Kuznetsov. He's back with the cars he was running with. And whoa! I wonder if Griffith thinks that Kuznetsov ran him off the road. And now he's running Kuznetsov off, and Kuznetsov turns Griffith. Griffith was running the 15 off the track, and Kuznetsov had enough of that. Now that I think that says enough. I think Griffith thinks Kuznetsov did that on actually hit him, when I don't think that was actually the case. And now here we got one of the more interesting battles on the circuit. Benoit Vukler versus Axel Andersson and Carlos Riquetta. 3 wide into turn 6. They come out of that one okay. But Benoit Vukler is creating a bit of a jam up behind him. He's doing a great job at defensive driving, and Benoit Vukler's been getting beaten by Ben Atkins for most of the season, so this is a good drive for Benoit Vukler. Reynolds is now catching this battle as well. He's following teammate Tom Moore, and he's got Kingston in that pretty awful Manicore behind him. Here is the 55 of Ashby moving on. Car 12, Christian. Oh no! Oh, that's not what you want to have happen there. Ashby was dead sideways, and that was almost a huge, huge accident right there. And now that lost momentum is meaning that Luciano is going to set up Ashby, and Kekkonen is going to have a run on Rossini. We've had quite a bit of action here for the first 5 laps. As now Ashby is going to fight off Luciano. I think Savaral's not. No, oh, whoa! Savaral takes a swipe at Rossini, and Kekkonen bailed out of that move as well. But I think Kekkonen's going to have a good run on the 3 car in the main straightaway. But Luciano is moving his car around quite a bit. Gasper de Souza is beginning to jam up everyone behind him as well, because Yuliana Sova has disappeared and is actually running with the 3 leaders. Here is Rachel Rainsford as Stoitler misses the corner a bit, and Rachel's going to try to slide right on through. Clavino in car number 2, hanging right behind in the number 2 Aratel Mobile car. Rachel Rainsford having easily the best drive probably of her whole career, really. Ryan Matthews still sitting in 15th place. This is going to do his Independence Trophy bid a lot of good in that Aspira, as you see the 18 sideways a little bit in the background. Or the 88 car, sorry. I don't know what I was thinking there. Davina Henson, car number 11, running in 6th place, as you can see right there. Still hounding D'Souza to try to get 5th back. But she's going to have the 31 and the 13 coming. And Scott Stoidler and Rachel Rainsford have been having pretty good races so far. Davina sets up D'Souza. Here she comes. Davina Henson, 3 wins to her name. Throws it in on the inside of Gasper D'Souza. And no, not quite. Gasper D'Souza has got very good drive off of turn 5 there. And it's making it very hard, really, I think, for Henson to get a good run on him. As Gasper D'Souza also doing a good job defending, as the leaders are lapping Matt Taylor in the 00 car. Oh, I think Alexis left her braking point too late. Yep, into the sand just a little bit. That's going to kill momentum there, and Roderick's going to go through. She doesn't quite fight that so much. Matt Taylor, he did everything right there, the 04 Series champion. And that car wasn't very good when it was new, and well, when that Dalton Blackbird's aged a few years, time hasn't been very kind to it. Here's Arto Kekkonen running back in 14th. I think he's wishing he had the R&D engine, I think, that Alexis Rainsford has. But he is going to pit the 9 car because I think Gessler needs a bit of an upturn in form. Here is Card is in as well, and he's actually coming to the field quite well. Scott Bates pitted on lap 7 with Kekkonen and Card. Looks like the leaders are on lap 8, but Nasova stays out. The 10 is staying out. Now that's interesting. Lynx Racing is throwing the dice with Nasova, and that is a dangerous move to make at a 4-mile track like this. Yulia Nasova, car number 10, the Russian, has been having a very anonymous season so far. Hasn't really been setting the world on fire over there. Oh, Ben Atkins has blown the 50 car up, leaving the pits. So Ben Atkins, I wonder what could have caused that. Because there is a big plume of smoke coming out the back of that car, and Ben Atkins appears to be slow to notice it. Danny Savin is staying well away from him. I wonder if there's probably oil coming out of the back of that car, so that's going to make turn 1 a little bit slick. But Atkins out of it. Kevin Dwyer hasn't pitted. He pitted earlier for a puncture, but he's off cycle, and that's just playing havoc with Adrian Devereaux right there. And of course, he's on low fuel. He's absolutely flying at the moment. He's heading some of his fastest laps of the weekend, really. And now he's chasing Alexis Rainsford as Yulia Nasova leaves the pits after her first stop. And this is going to work. Lynx Racing is taking the lead of the race here quite comfortably with Yulia Nasova in car number 10. Now this is going to be pretty interesting to see how quickly the rest of the field is going to be able to reel Nasova in. Now, Nasova came into the pits very, very hot, I should take note of. And that's probably where she gained all that time on Roderick in the 4 car. Yeah, there's the gap right there. And Yulia Nasova leading the race in the Lynx Racing car. Now this is going to be interesting because we'll see if Nasova can hang on to it up there. Cameron Taylor in car 26. We're keeping a bit of an update on him. He's running back in 21st position right now, just outside the points. He's chasing Scott Bates in car 88. But this is still not... Oh, whoa, as the 88's off the road, this is still a pretty good weekend so far for the young Ohio driver. As you got a battle between, looks like, Kazuyama and Matthews right behind him. Ian Cooper is running up in 15th, but again, he's off cycle as well. The Allison Becker car is not exactly been... Whoa, Johans! Gets on the curb, almost puts both of them into the tires, and Cooper was willing to stick his nose in there. He's going to make the move on the 12 car. He's going to make it stick. And does he have damage on that car? Well, he thinks so. Yeah, looks like he does think so. As he pits the 777 car in what is not a good day for him already. Clavino hanging on to 10th, as Kekkonen is going to go by. Actually, I think this is for 9th. Going into the first corner, Kekkonen is a little sideways there. But this has been not exactly the best race so far for Melanie Clavino. I mean, when you start on the pole and you drop way through the field in the opening couple of laps. Oh, we got another car in trouble. That's Irishman Keegan Mallory, driving for the Dave Hetzel car. Now that's a team that really had high hopes for this race. This is the track that this team really likes, and they've done a lot of testing here, and haven't been having the best of weekends, and very disappointing to see them out of it in car 76. They really had some high hopes for a good result here today. You see the scoring update on the left side showing Yulia Nasova leading the race. As got some cars there that are just a little off cycle in pit strategies. That'd be interesting to see how this turns out. In particular, Kevin Dwyer, who's making Roderick, who's giving Leonard Roderick a nightmare with all the movement of that car. As Kevin Dwyer didn't just make that on the outside. No, I don't think he made that stick on the outside in the last corner. Anyways, Yulia Nasova in car number 10 is look at how quickly, though, that they're reeling Nasova in down these straightaways. I mean, that is where Nasova's losing all this time to everyone else, as Roderick and Dwyer are now all on the back of Nasova just from the run down the main straightaway. Kevin Dwyer sticks it in, and there he goes. Dwyer makes it stick, and Kevin Dwyer is now on the lead. Nasova and car, I don't think anything's going wrong with Nasova's car. I just think that's just the speed differential down the long straightaway between the Lynx car and the Gessler and the Volpe as Matthias Taub and Kurt Reynolds get together a little bit, and Matt Taylor, everyone getting boxed in behind the 00, who's holding his line. He's giving everyone a good lane to go by him. They're just having problems doing that. Peter Short going by. Taub is actually running in 28th place, and for the Melrose Racing team so far, this is actually a pretty good effort, because that car is underpowered, to say the least. Kevin Dwyer is pitting the 8 car, as you can clearly see here. This is a scheduled stop, especially since he was off cycle anyways. Nasova is about to lose a position to Adrian Devereaux, about to lose second. About to lose second again to Adrian Devereaux, and now Rainsford is caught up as well. And you can kind of tell where that 10 car is the most efficient, is down these long straightaways. But earlier in the race, she was able to just sit behind the car in third, and that I think the draft coming off of the 3 leaders before was enough to keep Nasova in the contest. But also that we'll have to see how her pit strategy ends up working out, and if pitting later actually will work out in the end, as we see Rainsford going by in the 27 car, clearing Nasova well before turn 1. And Rainsford slides it a little bit wide. Nasova's going to try again. These two former teammates, and they were both at what is now a Volpe Racing team. And, yes, they're... Oh, a little close there, but, of course, they know how to have a good, clean battle with each other for the distance of a whole race. They did so at Spa a couple of years ago. Devereaux now hiding and sitting rather back in second place in the Haas manufacturing car. Adrian Devereaux in this 7 car has been setting himself up for a run at the championship. Roderick is as well. Rainsford and Nasova not really championship contenders for obvious reasons. Rainsford's not running the whole year, and Nasova, well, this is the best run she's had all year. And you need to run in the top 5 often if you want to be a serious title threat. Arto Käkkinen in the 9 car has been regularly in the points and regularly on the pointy end of the points as well, meaning in and around the top 10 whenever possible, whenever that car isn't falling apart. So far, Käkkinen running in 8th. He's holding off Davina Henton. And here you got 2 guys I think that are wishing they had more, Luciano Savarol and Jacob Card, running 14th and 15th. Difference is Jacob Card started way in the back, and this is easily the best drive we've seen out of the young Canadian. And Savarol, well, he started a bit ahead, a bit further up the field, and he's going backwards. But looks like they've stabilized here, and I don't think Card is going to make any serious attempt to get around Luciano Savarol, because Jacob Card has, we got Käkkinen in the pit lane as well, in car number 9. That is scheduled, looks like, and which means everyone else will be coming in rather soon. Here is Gasper de Souza holding off Rachel Rainsford and Yulia Nasova, as Nasova in that 10 car continues to slide backwards through the field. D'Souza and Rachel Rainsford are on their way forwards. So it looks like strategy employed by Nasova is not exactly going to plan. As Rachel's going to make a move on D'Souza here. This could get a little messy, but we haven't seen anyone really run into each other here yet. No, Rossini off and back on without a problem, and Scott Stoidler goes by him. These two have been having a pretty good battle all race long. And these two come from opposite ends of the racing world, that's for sure. Scott Stoidler, a sort of homegrown American-born driver, got his start in oval racing. Rossini's been a road racer his whole career. Whoa! Rossini slides it through the kink. No, wasn't able to make that one stick. Dirt tracking it through the kink isn't really a good idea. Doesn't matter who you are. But Alessandro Rossini hasn't really been getting the same results he was getting earlier in the season, but I still think he's a legitimate threat for the title. Roderick in the pits in car number 4. Then you have Devereaux and Rainsford, and again, Nasova sticks to her guns and staying out another lap. I have a feeling that Lynx Racing should have called Nasova, and I think they could have gained a lot of positions just by short filling. And spending less time in the pits. As you see, the battle between the leaders off the pit road, and with Roderick leading, Devereaux second, and where's the 27 car? No, Rainsford's in the background. Rainsford is okay. Rainsford out in 3rd. I'd forgotten the gap had extended just a little bit, so nothing wrong with car 27, as Roderick is going to be the effective leader, I do believe. But he's going to have Adrian Devereaux all up behind him. Devereaux filling his mirrors, and Devereaux's going to make a run on Roderick as they come down into the 3rd corner here. As Roderick's a bit wide, Devereaux goes right on through, and Adrian Devereaux now assumes the lead of the race. Now, this is going to get interesting. We're just past halfway. Nasova in car number 10 as after pit stops have cycled out, she's going to be, looks like Nasova's going to be in 4th. So, it looks like that pit strategy of Nasova's might be working out. No, she's going to lose 4th to Clavino, who's making a pretty good recovery, it should be noted, as somebody went off the track there. Actually, Nasova's back in 6th now, because I forgot Kevin Dwyer is still running, and Dwyer is actually ahead of these 2 cars, and Kevin Dwyer is... well, he's not really in the battle for the win, but he is on track running in a 3rd position right now. as Clavino pits the 2 car. This is... I don't think this is a scheduled pit stop here for Melanie Clavino. I'll have to see. Actually, I think it is. That's interesting. So Clavino must have left it later than must have lost track of Melanie Clavino then. Arto Kakinen and Rachel Rainsford doing battle for position here. Cars 9 and 31. As they come now into turn 5. No, Rachel's not close enough to make a move on Kakinen. No, she's going to make one very late. Oh, Rachel Rainsford is playing a suckers game with... No. Didn't have enough momentum exiting 5 to make that one work. I was going to say, that is a very brave move to make that late. As you see the running order on the left side, Yelena Sova really went backwards a little bit there because Kakinen and Rachel Rainsford have gone by her as well. As you see going through the field, Reynolds, Cooper, Savin, all having a bit of a questionable day, and of course Griffith, Lennox, and Davenport. The first 3 cars to exit the race didn't even get to the first pit stop cycle, as Adrian Devereaux seems to be pulling away from Roderick a little bit here. Things have settled down just a bit. The Haas Manufacturing ride of Adrian Devereaux, they're going to have that... oh, wait, never mind. Let's take that back when I say things have settled down, because here comes Davina Henton and Zelda Ashby. They're going to go 3 wide on the main straightaway, and I think Henton's going to get the best out of this. Davina Henton in car number 11. Henton is going to clear Ashby, but Ashby is going to pull across, and I think Ashby is going to have the best entry into the first corner here, as Yelena Sova's day is... It started off well. It's not. It's getting slightly worse, but this is still a good run from Nasova as Ashby gets by both the Lynx cars. Kakinen into the pits. This is a scheduled stop, and Clavino in car 2. Back running in last time across the stripe, scored 19th. Which means, of course, Matthews is 18th. See where she is according to timing right now. Still 19th. Okay, so now 17th. Melanie Clavino is making her way forwards at least. As the leaders are pitting, I see Devereaux, Roderick, and Rainsford all in. Peter Short running in 27th place. This is a solid effort from the Melrose Racing Team. 25th and 27th. Might not sound like much, but they've had such an awful year that I'm pretty sure this is gonna feel more like a victory to them than you might imagine. Especially with a team that has as big a budget as they do, and we're looking at Peter Short entering the pits a second time to see who else pitted behind him. Oh, whoa, no, Reynolds left the braking a bit late, because most everybody else but the Vernstroms have been flying and braking very late coming into the pits like Yelena Sova has been doing. And I don't think that'll be a penalty, but it might be. There have been some pretty penalties handed out for pit lane entry collisions before. I don't think there was that much damage done, though. As Adrian Devereaux in car number 7 is going to take the lead when everything cycles out. He's going to have the lead quite comfortably. But I wouldn't call this one as being over just yet. And he's got some traffic to get through. And Melanie Clavino is still running out there in third across the stripe last time because the 10 car was being scored as the leader. You see Clavino effectively running second, as Adrian Devereaux catching Matt Taylor in probably the most awkward place he could. I think Taylor expected Devereaux to pull out left earlier, as Devereaux shakes his fist at Taylor while making that corner, and I don't think there's a whole lot Matt Taylor could have done differently there, as I think Matt Taylor might be responding a little bit to Devereaux's criticism, I think is the best way to put that, and he's not giving Devereaux as easy a time as he has previously, and lets him go in the kink. I don't think that's going to make Adrian Devereaux all that happy when this is over. Anyways, here is Clavino in the background going to have a run on Taylor, but Adrian Devereaux's progress definitely impeded by Matt Taylor. As now you see Clavino's now all up in Devereaux's mirrors. I think Adrian Devereaux might have to let Melanie through because she's on a lighter fuel load. She's going a lot quicker than he is. But I don't think Clavino is a serious threat to steal the win away here. But everyone does have one more stop left to go. So we'll just have to wait and see how that's working out. Now what I'm beginning to wonder here is, first of all, we know that there's no team orders down there at Hodges Walter Racing. But if everyone has one more stop to go and only one stop left to go, Melanie Clavino might actually be in position to steal this. Now that I think about it, as Clavino now, Devereaux's not letting her through that easily. He is racing her very, very aggressively. He's defending this one aggressively, I think more so than Alan Hodges or Carl Walter would like him to. Into Canada corner, Melanie Clavino, no, not quite. Not quite yet. And the way that these two are racing each other, as hard as they are, as Devereaux is sideways coming, and that's not a place you really want to be sideways in, as Clavino takes the lead. And she's pitting it immediately. I don't think Clavino can make it the rest of the race. That is not going to sit too well with Devereaux, I don't think. As there's no way Melanie can make it on one stop from here, I don't think. As we got bumper tag, I think, between Packer Carla and Kuznetsov, because they were going in rather hot into turn 5. So, well, they might not have touched that. Might not have been that much contact. As Devereaux there, you see, has the lead, but Roderick is reeling him in very quickly. And Alexis Rainsford is actually running faster than both of these two. So I think that 27 isn't exactly out of it yet either. But this is a clash. This is more of a clash of the Titans here. Adrian Devereaux, 2-time champion. Roderick, 4-time champion. And Rainsford, who's won the championship twice in her own right. As Roderick is reeling in Devereaux slowly, as the 55 of Ashby, you may have seen in the background, is in the pit lane. And that appears to be, no, that is not a scheduled stop. This is why. Slowed on the main straightaway with a puncture, and that's the worst possible place that could happen. Ashby had to go all the way around the track. Although you are allowed to use the escape roads to get back there. If you have a problem, as Roderick is setting up Devereaux, it's not going to work. Not going to work right there, but Ashby is going to drop through the field well down through the running order. Rainsford is slowly catching them as well if they're going to keep racing this hard. Oh, there's back markers up ahead that are racing for position. This could get awkward. Kazuyama and I think Kuznetsov. And actually, if that's the case, they wouldn't be racing for position, as Roderick is going to take the lead here as he side-by-side into the kink, who's going to... Oh, Roderick moves a little bit over on Devereaux there. These two guys aren't exactly giving each other a lot of room, and that was a bit of a questionable move, but Roderick takes the lead of the race over Adrian Devereaux. That's Dan McKay, actually, in the 95, not Kazuyama that they're catching. As... No, that's Carlos Urqueta. And Carlos Urqueta and Dan McKay, that's a battle for position that they're catching. And Rainsford's really reeling them in now. As Roderick and Devereaux do all this really hard racing with each other, the 27 car is catching them. Is just reeling them in that much quicker. Down the main straightaway. We've got we don't have that many laps to go. Devereaux peeks out on Roderick. He's going to make a move into turn 1. Hold on to your hats. This one could get messy. Roderick throws it in a bit, throws it in wide. Devereaux's going to get a better run down it in the third corner here as I'm stumbling over myself here. And Alexis Rainsford is right there in that yellow 27 car. The lady in red, as we used to call her, because of her usual candy, those like bright red, not really bright red, but those scarlet-colored cars she used to have. I need to learn my colors again. As they enter Station 5, Devereaux plays a little bit of bumper tag with Carlos Urqueta. Roderick peeks out to make a move. Rainsford waits and watches. Devereaux goes by. No, not quite by Carlos Urqueta yet. Roderick thought about 3 wide, and you had to be a bit insane to make that one stick. As Devereaux now on the inside of the 14. Urqueta doesn't know what to do at this point because he's in a battle with Dan McKay for position. As they're both getting caught up behind Urqueta, Rainsford is throwing it in the inside in the carousel, and Rainsford's going to go by Roderick and almost get by Adrian Devereaux as well. And she's going to move. She's feeding it. No, the 27's all over the place. Look at this. Another look at it here. Rainsford, watch this. Peeks into the right side of Urqueta the last possible minute. If she were off by by about a half a second there, that would have been a huge accident. But Rainsford gets by Urqueta and is now right behind Adrian Devereaux in the 7 car with just a couple laps to go. Rainsford is in position to steal this one as Adrian Devereaux and Leonid Roderick both cost each other so much time that Rainsford reeled them both in. Although I think Rainsford might have caught them anyway. I don't think. I think it might have been too little too late. She sets up Devereaux by boxing him behind Dan McKay into the first corner. Alexis Rainsford is going to go back into the lead of the race thanks to Dan McKay. Actually, Dan McKay didn't do anything wrong there. He just held his line. Adrian Devereaux just waited too long to make a move on him. And Rainsford moves back into the lead, and she is disappearing at this rate. Wow! I don't think, given how far back she was, I didn't expect that. I expected her to catch Devereaux and Roderick, but probably not until the last lap. But now she's got to get around Packer Carroll in the 18 car, who's been having a real big handling problem with that car. And, we got final pit stops. Everyone's going to have to make them. Kakinen in, Card in, Rachel Rainsford in, and the Volpe crew going to work on Rachel's car while her younger half-sister, I should say, because they are half-sisters. While her half-sister Alexis Rainsford leads leads after the round of pit stops, it looks like, as she's now catching the car number 18 of Packer Carroll's. Oh no, I don't think she wanted to make that move there. We're looking at a replay of Rainsford entering the pits in car 27 with Adrian Devereaux and Roderick, so I'm getting a bit crossed up here. Now watching the battle for the lead coming out of the pits. Devereaux, Rainsford leave at the same time, but Rainsford's ahead. Roderick, not a very good stop by the Volpe crew. And that's not the only pit stop they flubbed, because Rachel has gone backwards a little bit as well. There you see Kakinen in the background. The car he was running with, Rachel Rainsford, nowhere to be seen. Rachel Rainsford a bit further back, so disaster late in the race for car 31. Alexis Rainsford and Adrian Devereaux, though, are still locked in a battle for this win here. Here's Melanie Clavino. There's Arto Kakinen. Battle for 10th as they continue to do battle over that. Dan McKay is, again, playing a factor. He's holding a line, but not the line Roderick wants him to hold. Roderick wants Dan McKay out of the way fast. Dan McKay not exactly being the best back marker at the moment. I think Roderick has a fast enough car to where if he were to get by Dan McKay, he'd have a good shot at running down the leaders if they start racing each other as hard as he and Adrian Devereaux. Oh no, Melanie Clavino's car is blown up! That's a big disappointment for Clavino. She's going to exit the race with just a couple laps to go. That's the absolute worst thing. That for Clavino, she was running well in the points as Roderick sideways getting around the 95. Dan McKay getting in the way, Roderick going through. Clavino was, I think, running in 5th. On the scoring monitor it said 10th, but pit stops hadn't cycled through yet. As now we are coming to the white flag. Alexis Rainsford and Adrian Devereaux nose to tail as Carroll pits as they are coming around the 14 car of Carlos Riquetta. Alexis Rainsford makes a move on Riquetta. I don't think Carlos Riquetta saw her there. It's going to cost her a bit of momentum here. Can Adrian Devereaux win this thing? He's got one more. He probably has one or two good shots at it. And he's got her set up here. Remember a situation a couple of years ago. Devereaux and Chris Johans. They made contact. Devereaux was given a penalty after the race. Even after making contact right around here, turn 5. Not close enough here. But he's close enough. If he's brave, he can make a move here. Here comes Adrian Devereaux. Throws it on the inside. Rainsford shuts the door. That's a bit late to do that. Rainsford threw a block on him very late. And that cost so much momentum for Adrian Devereaux. That almost resulted in contact. And I wonder if Devereaux remembered that from a few years ago. And remembered that the officials gave him a penalty after the race. Thought twice, backed out of it, but that might have cost him the win. And Rainsford goes a little faster through the carousel than but she gets into the grass. Into the grass a little bit. Devereaux not close enough. I think Devereaux running turn 12. And he doesn't have enough time. Alexis Rainsford breaks her winless streak, stemming back to the Cariala Grand Prix a few years ago. But she hasn't been full-time since then. Devereaux second, but not happy about it. Very salty, sour, I would say, on the podium. Roderick third, not happy with Dan McKay, but still happy with his result. Kekkonen, D'Souza, solid fifth. Luciano Savaral, Yulia Nasova. Great recovery effort from Jacob Card. Kurt Pliskin barely noticed all race. Slowly slithered his way through the field, got 9th. Rossini 10th. Good efforts from Davina Henton and Greg Woodard, incident-free in Woodard's case. A good recovery by Kevin Dwyer, Scott Stoidler, and Rachel Rainsford. Had top 10 efforts in the bag, but bad pit stops at the end cost them. Ryan Matthews did what was expected of him. Lewis Kingston gets his first points in a while. Cameron Taylor in the 26th. Great effort there, even though he lost 10 places. Scott Bates and Ian Cooper both had good efforts as well. And heading into Indianapolis, Adrian Devereaux holds the lead of the championship. Luciano Savaral second. Clavino third. Even the only points Clavino got were the bonus points for winning the pole. Roderick, Rossini, Kekkonen, Bates, Ashby, Dwyer, and Gasper D'Souza still legitimate championship contenders. Davina Henton in car number 11 is beginning to move into position to maybe have an outside run at the title if she runs very well at Indy. And a lot of cars in front of her have some issues. Nasova and Riquetta, I think everyone but them and back is probably not in with a shot of winning the title, but stranger things have happened before. Now let's have a look at the Independence Trophy. The big gainer here was Ryan Matthews, of course, given that he made Cariala. Anything, of course, he effectively has a mulligan race because the Independence Trophy is the best of 4 results. But also, another race that will count towards the Independence Trophy is the second double points race of the year, the Round of Indianapolis.